welcome back to Social Club. We're talking Manchester United. Thank you very much. I know, mate. I'm amazed. I'm genuinely amazed. I stopped at Mackey's on the way in, and I went, can I get order, please, in the drive-thru? That's basically what I sounded like, so no surprise. Manchester United.
Is it just because people can't see this, the amount of stuff you ordered from McDonald's? So when she said, what do you want? Either you've spoken for so long that your voice is broken, or you essentially went, yes.
Well, no, it's because first of all, we did the first Red Men live show last night off the back of the last game of the season, so I was goosed from that. But then secondly, I hadn't spoken until about whatever time it will have been, pretty much this afternoon, when I wanted to buy all the Mackies for everyone in the office. And then I was pre-prepared, and my voice failed, just like it's done there. So, Manchester United, speaking of things that have been a letdown, no, not really, let's not start on that foot, us and Man United fans. You're having a good season, you're in the Europa League final. But the question is, look, for me, Liverpool were there last season. And if Liverpool had qualified for the Champions League by winning the Europa League, for me, that would have represented a fantastic season for the Reds. Ped, is it Europa League or bust though for Mourinho this time around? Because with the greatest respect to the football club that I support, who do have high expectations, the expectations at Manchester United, because of 20 years of being the most successful club in the country, and if not up there in the world, if Mourinho finishes outside of having finished outside of the top four and doesn't get the European silverware and therefore doesn't get Champions League qualification, does that ramp the pressure up on him in that position?
I think it will, but I mean, don't forget, this is a club that hasn't had Champions League football for 3 seasons, is it?
Well, yeah, they got back in it once, didn't they? I can't remember which one it was. And then they went out to the Europa League, didn't they, when they got knocked out? So it's not. I think the fans are bearing with it. They understand there's still a transitional period. He seems to be getting the players in he wants now and starting to get them bed in. I think it's going to be a massive summer for them as well. Champions League will aid that. But they've got a massive chance on Wednesday night to win a trophy, which we'd all love to win, no matter what. We were talking about Arsenal fans before. They'd love to win it next year because they've got a more realistic chance of winning a Europa League. No, but they have though. Listen, Arsenal were never going to win the Champions League. I'm sorry, but they weren't. They were never going to win the Champions League, but they've actually got a chance of winning that trophy now. A genuine chance, as long as if they can stick it out. And that's what Man United have done this year in the Europa League. He's managed it really, really well. The group stages, he didn't sort of put too much stock on. He knew that 3 wins would get him out the group stage, so he didn't go over the top with it. They've got Ajax in the final. I think it'll be a really tough game for them because of the amount of injuries they've got. But they're favourites, and if they win it, they can lord it over most teams. The only other team who will have been really more successful this season is Chelsea. Yeah. I think it's fair to say, isn't it, James, that no matter which way you slice it, Man United delivering 2 pieces of silverware and Champions League football. Like I say, what more can you ask for? Because you could finish 4th and deliver nothing. You know what I mean? Like with Liverpool, we got top 4. We're grateful to finish in the top 4, but we lost in the semi-finals of that League Cup and didn't do it. If you stack the 2 seasons side by side, I'd take Man United's season.
It's pretty impressive what he's done so far, and he seems like he's done it while really being up against it in his first season at United. He's been trying to get going.
What do you mean by up against?
I just feel like he's been struggling. He's been up against it. Things haven't gone the Mourinho way. Pogba's not been firing at all cylinders. He's had patchy bits of form. Ibrahimovic, he's been heavily relied upon, and now he's injured. The injuries at this part of the season as well. Yeah. So I think what Mourinho does best, and deals with an immense amount of pressure and squeezes as much out of the orange that is Manchester United as he can, and he's gone for it. But the flip
more of a grapefruit.
The flip side of it though is it could all fire back in his face. The orange could fire back. No, I'll stop. No, but it could flip back in his face, and the only reason that these players are motivated for this final, I'd argue, is because they know what is the other end of it if they win. And For me, that's what I think. I think it could fire back in his face if they lose. But
I think it is it's huge. It's such a big game for them because the things that you throw at Mourinho is the fact that he's, yes, he was great, but he's losing it now. The game's moved beyond him in the way that he plays. And on one hand, you've won 2 trophies, you're in the Champions League, and that looks pretty good. And you go, look, it's nonsense. And also for Man United fans, they've gone, David Moyes, go on then, work out. Didn't work out. Van Gaal, you think, yeah, okay, maybe. No. All right, look, enough of this. Let's get the guy. This guy guaranteed trophies. What was it? Mourinho has now managed 250 Premier League games, and he's got the most wins at this stage, 6 more than Fergie. So you feel guaranteed.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't win that, they don't care about. They're not going to care about the League Cup if he loses that Europa League final. In a tournament where they've had pretty much a walk to the final. The draws that they've had have been very easy and have actually made it hard for themselves than they probably needed to. And then to lose that Europa League final, again, you've got your one trophy, but you haven't got that Champions League. And I know they've got so much wealth, that they probably will still be able to go out and buy those players. Yeah. But will they want to go?
But
there?
It's also a lot of diminishing returns, isn't it? In that regard, you're having to spend more money to make sure those guys do choose you over whatever, and you need to keep your profile boosted. I mean, look, Man United have got money to burn, so they'll probably continue to do that as long as they need to do it. Yeah. But you are right. Look, the Champions League is a massive thing, and all of a sudden, though, we've talked about there's only so many top quality players out there, and the Premier League is going to be very competitive in that market this summer. We've discussed this a lot. There's 7 teams with money to spend this summer, and more really when you go beyond that. But all of a sudden, there's let's use Virgil van Dijk as an example of it. And there's a guy who's going to be the top centre-back target for most of the Premier League teams who'd want him, and he's pretty much said, I won't consider anyone below the Champions League cut-off. Well, there you go. That means that he'll choose one of the 4 or 5 teams.
It massively opens them being not even in the Europa League. It massively opens the door. Or do they get in the Europa League because of the League Cup?
Yeah,
they'll be in Europa.
And the 6th.
Oh, 6th. Sorry. That opens the door for Spurs and for you guys to get those players that you probably couldn't afford. Otherwise, because Man United would go, well, look, I've got Champions League football and a load of money. Here you go.
This is the thing, isn't it? But you'd back them. I think they can get away with another season of it, regardless. But there is very much. I think Champions League has to be part of the plan.
Yeah. I think next season, let's say if they get beat, I can imagine if they're in the Europa League next season, I don't think he'll take it as seriously. Yeah. I think he'll go because this. Let's be honest. At times this season, especially the latter part of the season, he's sort of give up on the Premier League, hasn't he? He's played a lot of youngsters and stuff. He's put all his eggs in one basket.
And just to get those stats up about how he's
But if it pays off, it'll pay off massively. And to be fair, Klopp did it last season, didn't he? He did exactly the same last season. It didn't pay off for Liverpool. If it pays off for Man United, it'll pay off massively. I think next season, I just think they'll go Europa League. I don't give a fuck. Look at the success of Chelsea this season without any Europe. I think he'll do the same. He'll use it almost as a development competition.
I think the thing what you're saying about the League Cup, I think the League Cup, if you look, to be fair, I'd love a piece of silverware. love it, Sophie. Oh, I know. And listen,
I'm saying I'd love one as well.
I'd love a piece. I'd love us to get back into the swing of winning trophies instead of fucking losing finals. But the way that the silverware is ranked, you've got the Community Shield at the bottom, and then it's League Cup above that. And unfortunately, when you've not, like for us, it'd be great to get back, win a League Cup. I wouldn't mind winning a League Cup. We'd be happy to win a League Cup again. But when you're Man United, and I think most of the top clubs really, if you are in the swing of winning silverware, the League Cup only really gets genuinely celebrated if it's part of another. Exactly. And there's probably people who'd be frothing at the mouth about that, but I don't
even think it gets celebrated. It's almost a trophy for its day, and then it's forgotten about.
But I think it depends on the club, doesn't it? Like if Southampton had won it this year, they would have been buzzing over it. What I think I'd love to know from you, Paul, is when these teams are like Leeds team in the 70s, or you guys once Man United kind of took over a little bit, there's that quite a long lull afterwards. It's difficult to kind of have that manager or those managers you were lucky enough to have and that success, and then to get past that and get back to being successful again, sometimes never kind of comes back around. How long is this This is the other thing: is if they lose again, they're still in transition.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win this one, whereas if they win 2 trophies and they're back in the Champions League again, they're kind of on their way again.
You've got what you've got when you're on top is and to stay on top you have a line of succession. And Man United had that for so long, where your young players get taught by your old players, who then become your old players who teach the new players, and it's a cycle of success. And you just teach the next generation how to handle the pressure and how to win. That line of succession was broken at the end of the Ferguson reign because he left too many old players in there. David Moyes then come in and did what David Moyes did, etc. And similarly Van Gaal. So Man United have had to kind of kickstart that. But that's like your car battery dying on a cliff. And you know what I mean, and you've got to get it running, but you need to run it downhill to get it to get it started again. And there's a risk that if it doesn't get started, you're just going to drive off the fucking cliff.
Right.
Basically. No, I thought that was all right. Like,
Why would you be parked on a cliff?
you know, I'm just.
If you know what Paul was saying there, can you explain to me in the comments? And I'll agree.
let's.
I'm actually looking at you, looking at Cantona with a fucking seagull on his head, thinking,
That makes more sense.
yeah.
Okay,
Go on,
let me try again. The bit in Charlie's Angels 2.
Just say what you want to say. You don't need fucking euphemisms to get you through here.
I do. That's how I talk. No, but you know, this is the point. They've set themselves up where they've had to go all in to get them to boost themselves back up into the positions and to kickstart that regime again. That's why you get Zlatan in, because they should have that guy who's been at Man United for 10 years. Who's that guy? But they fucked that. So they've got to go and get new guys in to try and replace that. But if that doesn't work, that's only a short-term solution. If you don't get your younger guys into the swing of winning, then it's a failed experiment, and you essentially go off the cliff, don't you? But you know, so therefore you come out with the League Cup and you come out with the Europa League. Well, those lads all of a sudden know what it's like to deliver at not quite the highest level, but at a high level, to know what silverware is all about. So
And replacing Zlatan, they've been very reliant on, like you said, James.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier as well. So it's a huge game. Huge.
Yeah,
huge game.
I think it's a very important game, and I think there'll be a few questions about Mourinho, not massive questions about his future, but I think there'll be a few questions about Mourinho if he does fail to win this, because he's been so dogged about, and he's put all of his eggs in one basket, like you've said.
Yeah, and he kind of had to, didn't he? But,
yeah, he had.
But you're right, all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely worth a watch.
Well, it's the fucking Europa League final. It's definitely worth a watch.
Nah, it's not always,
Regardless,
is it?
I think it is.
how many Europa League finals have you watched them all?
Pretty much all of them. I watch all of them because they're finals, for God's sake. You fucking cunt.
No, but this is it. You know, again,
I didn't watch last year's, actually. Funnily enough,
Funnily enough,
I didn't watch last year.
Funnily enough, I did.
Put on about the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, weird. That's the thing, and you can say it's one of those down to a game of footy to change the course of Man United's short term future. So a lot of pressure on, and here's the thing. They should go and do it.
Yeah,
You know, Ajax, for all the what in the world. Yes, they've got that European pedigree, but then Man United have got that European pedigree as well.
I just think
a very inexperienced
apart from the semi-final, which it got a little bit tricky in the second leg, Ajax have been very confident and have just sort of cruised through, whereas United seem to have every game there seems to be like a little hiccup, even down to the last game where there was the equaliser and then the chance in the last minute which he missed, and maybe that'll be the thing that actually wins it for them. Sometimes that can be let's not forget Man United's defence has been excellent this season. People I think
It's also decimated for this final.
Ajax haven't won the league though this season.
No,
Feyenoord have, so they might be looking for like something.
But I think they've put a lot of, Europa League's been their focus, because obviously that's huge to them. Okay. And in Dolberg, they've got a fantastic striker.
Amazing. Okay, so let us know then. Europa League, there it is. That's the camera. Jesus. Europa League or bust for Jose Mourinho. What does it mean for his long term future? It doesn't mean anything, to be perfectly honest. Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe.
Are still melting.
By clicking the Ball Street logo right there. Thanks very much to the gents for joining us on Monday. Tuesday coming up, we're going to be doing Ask the Club, and later on in the week we're going to be starting to reach a climax. Not there yet, still tantric. It's going to be attacking midfielders, struck wingers will be out on Friday, picking your team of the season. So do tune in for that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you there. Ta-ra.